Baruch Hashem, we begin another 5 minutes of tefillah, another week. Just to quickly review an incredible point that we ended off last week regarding Itur, regarding repeatedly beseeching Hashem. We said over the mashal of the Dumna Magid. Whoop, sorry about that, just kicked the microphone. Said over the mashal of the Dumna Magid. The Dumna Magid taught us of two people that went into a suit store. How one person was particular, the precise suit he was looking for, etc. Whereas the other one just took 10 suits and went. And when he was asked, "You don't care about the sizing?" He said, "Of course I do. But I have many children at home, and therefore if the large one won't fit him, it will fit the smaller child. And if it doesn't fit today, it will fit next week." And from here, Rav Shimshon Pincus proved this ideology that no tefillah goes for naught, that every single tefillah has this dual message. That number one is the tachlis itself, that it brings us closer to Hashem. But number two is that the tefillah is sitting there waiting. And he concludes this section in teaching us halavai, that we should understand how important our tefillahs are, that there should be an oitzer filled. Imagine there's a storehouse filled with tefillahs, that when the time comes, Rahman al-Itzlah, and another mashal he says, is imagine a family member is in a bad situation and you don't know about it. So you can't daven for them. But if you had a storehouse filled with tefillahs, if you have davened prior, then there will be those tefillahs waiting to help that person. And he continues today with something that he calls a marganisa tava, a pearl of wisdom, in which he says is built on three ideas, a little bit of a deep idea for the day. Number one, Yisayid Tefillah. Number two is to daven again and again. And number three is the Yisayid of the Segula HaTorah. And he explains over here that the world was created, says the Zohar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked into the Torah and created that world. What does that mean? On the level that we could try to understand. What that means is that when it says Yihi Rakia, those words established and created the Rakia, the heavens, through the words Yihi Rakia, which means that hidden within those words is the power to hold up the heavens. He continues, V'debarta bam b'shivtecha b'veisecha, that hidden within those words is the koyach of Torah. And he continues and he says that the Shalach HaKadosh writes as following, that he found a ksav yad from the Ishu Alaikai Haramoisha Mikar Davara, which is the Ramak. And the Ramak writes the following, that he was taught by a Zakin Echad, which the Shalah writes certainly was Eliyahu Hanavi, and the Ramak just didn't want us to understand that he was talking to Eliyahu Hanavi. So his anivas, his humility, cloaked it in a Zakin Echad. That a Zakin Echad told the Ramak that if someone wants to be mevatel a machshava, if someone has a negative, an evil, a lustful thought, and they want to rid their mind from it, what should they do? They should repeat the pasuk many times. Eish tamid tukad ala mizbeach lo yisichbeh. The fire is burning on the mizbeach and it will not extinguish. And similarly, the Mishnah Berurah writes, quotes of Shimshon Pincus, that if someone wants to have kavana and tefillah, they should say, Leiv tahar bara li alekim, a pure heart Hashem created for me, v'ruach nachay nechadish b'kirbi. And he should say it again and again and again. And what does this do by repeating these psukim? Says Rav Shimshon Pincus, this is this three-pronged methodology being taught by the greatest of the Bali Kabbalah, built upon this ideology of the Zohar, that you say a pasuk, and then you repeat it again and again, and thereby you tap into the segula, the skuli, the koyach of the Torah, of the tefillah that is laid latent within those words. The words themselves of Leiv Tahar Barali Alikim have the ability to actually create us to have that pure heart. So when one wants to have kavanah and tefillah, he could tap into this fascinating segula of saying again and again and again, thereby saying a tefillah, repeating a tefillah, and tapping into the hidden and deeper meanings of the words, thereby allowing him to connect to those words. HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked into the Torah, created the world, thereby Leiv Tahar Barali Elakim will allow us to have that pure heart. Psiyata Dishmaya. Have a fabulous